Is the physical natural world all that exists, or is our ability to question this evidence of more? This is naturalism versus supernaturalism. The presupposition of naturalism is that science tells us all that we need to know. So invoking the supernatural is non-scientific and should not be trusted. The claimed requirements of science by scientism is that we should not believe anything unless it's testable by science. If you can't weigh it, measure it, or examine it by some physical means under the scientific method, then such theories should be thrown out. Now, science does not tell us that we should do science. Such statements like we should only trust science are not themselves theories that are testable by their own claim method. So, according to their own scrutiny, we should throw them out. While there's not a scientifically testable way to prove the supernatural, there's also not a scientifically testable way to disprove the supernatural. So the point is neutral. In a sense, you're using the wrong tool for measurement, like using a compass to measure temperature. You do not use the natural to prove the supernatural. Scientism and naturalism are philosophies. They seek to explain the ultimate workings of the universe. The theories themselves are not assumed to be mere products of their own worldview, but thought by its adherents to be an accurate description made by a free creature's rational evaluation. Free rationalization is just one of several things that naturalism is not consistent with in reality. To freely rationalize, we gotta have a reason for believing we can trust our brains. With naturalism, wouldn't we be no more than just a highly survivable collection of chemicals? Truth has no bearing in survivability. In a naturalistic universe, there's nothing but an unbroken chain of cause and effect reactions based around the physical laws that happen to be put in place. Therefore, nothing evaluates truth, but only reacts physically. There's other things that naturalism fails to explain, certain unseen realities like abstract concepts like numbers, music, the appreciation of music, emotions, especially meaningful emotions, if we really want to assume that our emotions have meaning to them. Morality, especially objective morality, because we only do what we're pre-programmed to do. Free will, because life wouldn't be able to break away from following the unbreakable chain of physical reactions. If we as people are able to break away from the chain of events, then such activity would be supernatural, since it's not dependent on the natural, yet imposes its will on the natural realm. Free thought and action is the simplest evidence of the supernatural. Naturalism fails to explain the origin of nature itself. Space can exist without matter. Matter can technically exist without time. Neither can exist without space. Time can't exist without matter. Time, space, and matter, they exist simultaneously in nature. Now, since time is quantifiable, it must not have achieved an infinite number, and therefore had a starting point. Science also confirms a starting point to time itself. If we call nature the universe of time, space, and matter, then nature must have had a starting point. It's impossible for something to bring itself into existence, because it would have to exist before it existed. Therefore, if it began to exist, something other than itself must have brought it into existence. Something outside the natural that imposed its will on the natural is supernatural. A reality that is supernatural and natural is more plausible than a reality that's only natural, because science is neutral on the subject and can't prove one way or the other. But naturalism does not allow for meaningful emotions, appreciation, morality, free thought, and truth, or abstract concepts. and it needs something besides itself to bring itself into existence. So, as I look at this antonymic pair of supernaturalism or naturalism, I conclude that naturalism is not consistent with reality as I know it, and therefore supernaturalism is the true worldview.